This episode may contain strong language and adult themes. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Good afternoon, good evening, good welcome to one and all. Well, actually, probably just one of you, because even though we got loads of subscribers, I'm sure only one person watches it all that amount of time. It is tonight's 22 Dropouts. I'd like you to say hello to my team. Jules, you're first on my screen. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Just got back from training, actually.
Just back from training. Yeah. Yeah, I say that. I never go. It's like I've got a gym membership card in my wallet, but it's just gathering dust.
Coaching the women's team now, so.
So standing around telling other people what to do.
Standing around telling other people what to do, basically. Yeah,
excellent news. Excellent. And Sam, hi, mate.
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, not too bad. Can't complain. Obviously better than you guys, because I think your fitness training regime is the donut factory or something, isn't it?
Did you hear any of that, or was he just literally being a Scottish jerk and taking the piss out of us, or do you think he's got a valid point?
Honestly, I actually turned down the ice cream earlier. So.
Good lad. I mean, when I heard you were going on the spinning class, I thought it was to do that with the candy floss around the machine. Talking to candy floss, it's Daryl. Hello, Daryl.
Well, I'm just back from doing a Bronco test, so.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Yola?
5:15.
Oh, that's pretty good.
What are you supposed to get?
Under 5:30.
Mate, that's 15 seconds of wasted effort. Come on. You should know by now, after all your years on the panel, all you do is you hit the minimum standard, because then they can't say, well, you did it 10 seconds quicker last year. You should know that by now.
Didn't set the pitch out layout properly, so I ended up running too many meters.
What, 20 meters, 30 meters, and 40 meters instead of 20, 40, 60.
Not that bad.
You're the unlucky one, Daryl, because I said to the girls tonight that we were going to run a Bronco at some point, and it started snowing, so I let them off it. Yeah.
It's snowing over in your place.
Yeah, it was snowing when we started training tonight. Oh,
you see, and we think we've got it bad over here, but yeah, Sweden's a little bit worse. Anyway, we have got a guest on tonight, but before we introduce him, I just want to show you some of the highlights of his career. So just take a look at this. Tom Varndell, everybody. Hey, Tom, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Not too bad at
all. Good. I didn't show the... no, that was easy to do because we did this for a training video a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, Tom? So I'd already got you a show reel.
Yes, yeah, it was good actually. It was a good talk. Actually,
I thought so.
In fact, I actually learned a lot on that.
Podcast. I actually think that the person who learned a lot that day was our good mate Rich Horton, because when we did his show reel, you featured in his show more than he did. In fact, I think you scored more tries in his show reel than he did. He just kept handing off and then passing, and then he'd give up. He wouldn't follow on, would he?
Yeah, I was lucky to play with Dale towards the end of his career, where his legs, didn't have the same stamina. So I just sneaked in and stole the tries off him. So it was perfect. He was a perfect wingman to play with.
Nice one. Yeah, how long did you play at Wasps for?
Oh, 7, 8 years. Yeah, 7 or 8 years.
And is that when you left Premiership Rugby, or did you play elsewhere afterwards?
No, I went to Bristol from Wasps. Had a year in the Champ, and then I had a year in the Premiership, and then I left Bristol after that.
So, what are you doing now?
What am I doing now? I'm attempting to be a sports agent now. So I've got my own business, my own agency, working with another guy called Matt Bressons down in Australia. Obviously, I look after the UK and European market. And it's going well, actually. Obviously, it's been a tough year for obvious reason with COVID. It's hard to be an agent when there's no rugby being played. But obviously the last few weeks picked up massively. Clubs are signing players are playing rugby again in the leagues below Premiership. Championship, I've been really impressed with this year so far. I think it's been really competitive, and obviously it's coming to an end in the next few weeks. But no, for me, it's great because obviously it's keeping me around that rugby environment, which I've known for so long, and working with players who are starting out in their careers, and hopefully I can give them a bit of guidance. It's not just about the contracts. I actually want to mentor these players and help guide them, and hopefully not let them make the same mistakes I made during my career, both on and off the pitch. So it's good. It's interesting. It's exciting, and I'm not missing training, but I do miss that. I suppose that banter, that change room banter in the games at the weekend. You do miss that. But no, it's going well. I'm enjoying it.
So I hate to push you on this, mate, but mistakes that you've made then. Go on, give us an insight into some of the mistakes you've made on and off the pitch.
Well, I think when I first sort of started at rugby, there was almost that crossover. It was still in that transition from amateur to professional. So obviously I was at Leicester Tigers from 18 years old, and I was surrounded by players like Lewis Moody, Martin Johnson, Martin Corrie, who had gone through that amateur period. So there was still that amateurness, is that a word, left over, especially with Leicester. So team socials were interesting, to say the least. You can get away with a lot more back then than you can now. Players are a lot more professional. Drinking is, I think, a no-no. And it was definitely a yes when I was playing. So let's just say there was a lot of late nights, a lot of begging the coach not to sack me, I think, on a Monday morning. But we'll leave it there. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed my rugby career.
So best night out you ever had with Leicester Tigers then?
Oh, best night out. I think it was after the Heineken Cup final in Leinster, in Dublin. We had an unbelievable night out, from what I remember. And then also my first England cap. I think I lasted about an hour on the piss before I was put in a taxi and sent home. But it was a good hour. It was a really good hour. And then you have the off-season trips away with the lads. We did Vegas and Ibiza, and I've got some really good memories. Probably stuff I will never speak about ever again, but they were good memories.
What goes on tour stays on tour, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So what? Yeah, especially in Vegas, and we've heard some things that go on in Vegas, particularly when we first had Carl Dixon on, because what he didn't know is the guy who he went on a stag do to Las Vegas with was on the show as well, hiding in the corner. But to be fair, they stayed rather tight-lipped. Now, look, you like you said, you've been through the amateur days as well as the professional days. So, what's the biggest wind-up you've either ever done to somebody else or had done to you?
Biggest wind-up. I think the biggest wind-up merch in terms of a player that I've played with, it's got to be James Haskell. He's one of them guys that
rival podcast.
Yeah, his mother is so lovely.
Yeah,
he's actually blocked one of my friends, so you can tell him off for that. You see,
no, he won't even answer the phone unless you pay him these days, mate. Even to Tom. It's cash money, mate. Cash money.
£10 a minute for Haskell these days. Like James he's an unbelievable person to have in the squad. His personality was unbelievable. But he's got the most relentless banter, and he will keep going and going and going until someone gives him a laugh. And he is funny. He is funny, but he's fucking annoying. I'll tell you that. He is.
Hashtag, you heard it here first.
Yeah. To be fair, like throughout my whole career, like the characters I've met and played with, and obviously still, best mates today. That's something about rugby you'll never lose. It's such a family sport, and when I say family, like your teammates become your family, and if you're not having fun doing it, then there's no point doing it. So I've been very lucky. The teams I've played in, the characters I've met, and the friends I've made, it has been brilliant.
No, that's excellent, mate. And I'd love to know what the funniest one-liner that James Haskell has ever come out with.
Oh my God, none of them are ever funny. They're
no,
never funny.
Not at the time, are they?
No,
not at the time. It's like all aboard the Haas train. It was never, ever, ever funny. When he told it to Chloe, that could not have been funny.
No, all about
Chloe really could not have taken that the right way.
Yeah, self-proclaimed Sir Banterlot, all that shit. It's just like Haas.
But it becomes funny, doesn't it?
It becomes funny.
Yeah,
it becomes funny, and if you don't laugh, you have to laugh just to shut him up. That's the problem.
Can you just imagine Hask doing a stand-up comedy routine?
Yes, I can.
How fucking ace would that be?
No, don't say that, because he'll hear that and he'll probably go and do that next. He's got books.
Tins,
he's got cooking books.
Tins.
He's got DVDs.
I know. He's got his own show now. Tins. Listen, mate. You and me, phone call tomorrow. Let's do the deal. Let's get Hask on stage doing the stand-up, mate. All right. Call me in the morning, Tins. Because I know you watch this. In fact, Tins was supposed to come on last week, but they got a bit busy trying to film his show. But no, I think he could. And we all remember the time where he pretended he wasn't pissed on the side of the pitch doing
my God, that's so funny. That was funny. It was funny. It was funny because it was at his expense, which makes it even better.
Yeah. I think the funniest part is he tried to get away with it by saying it's because he got feedback in his ear.
Yeah. No, it's so good.
Bullshit, James.
So good. And then just talking about characters, I know he's got another podcast, but Andy Goode is the most ruthless man in rugby. Like, honestly, he is brutal, and he will make you feel about that big. He is. I'm lucky. I've always been on his good side, but I've seen boys on his bad side, and I think he made boys retire from rugby purely out of banter. It was. He is brutal bloke.
Really, I mean, we only ever see the the TV personality, the guy on Twitter, and this, that, and the other. I don't think any of us have ever seen the other side of Andy Goode.
Oh,
have we, boys?
Either. He's a bastard.
Well, there's another hashtag. You heard it here first. What a show it is tonight. Now, what we're going to do, mate, is we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to go through our now world famous, only because it's famous in 3 countries, because they're the only people who ever watch our show, like in places like Moldova. We're all going to take our very famous this or that quiz, and afterwards we're going to psychologically analyse your answers. So we'll be back in less than a minute, just after this. When you need clear and concise match official communication systems, look no further than the brand new AXIWE AT350.
Radios are always useful, they always help us, especially AXIWEs, where all 3 of us can be open at any time and we can have open communication.
Available now from refcomsglobal.net. Investing profits into match official development worldwide. So welcome back to part 2. And Pete, hi Pete. We are in part 2. Well done, mate. So hello, Pete. Pete's had to go down to Cornwall this week, so that's why he can't join us for long tonight. But it's a long way from Whitby to Cornwall, isn't it? But even though he now can't hear anything we're saying. So
7 hours.
just
7
put
hours I
your-
did last night.
Did you? Oh, well, look. Love to you, and look at him. Love to you, love to the family, mate, and we'll catch up with you next week. The great news is we're coming to stay with you in August because we're doing Scarborough Tens, mate.
Oh, have you got the gig?
We've got the gig, and there's 13 of us coming to stay with you.
Fucking hell, I've only got 2-seater flat.
Mate, camp beds in the bar. That's what it's going to be. I just thought I'd announce that live on tonight's show that we're all staying at Pete's. And while we're there, we're going to record a special live episode of the 22 Dropouts as well. So, YouTube, hold on to your tin knickers because that's going to be dirty. I promise you that.
Wait. So they have to bring sleeping bags.
Well, we can sort the technical details out later, mate. But the great news is we're all raiding your pub for 2 nights.
2 nights?
2 nights, Friday and Saturday.
Tournament, mate. It's always more than one night.
So I have to cook fucking breakfast twice?
Yes.
Bastard.
I would say you offered, but actually you didn't. So, but thanks anyway, mate.
Right, what date's this tournament?
7th of August.
Right, I'm just about to clear out cancel all my bookings for the 7th of August. Right.
Tom, do you fancy a weekend in Scarborough on the 7th of August, mate?
Scarborough. It's a lovely part of the world. Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up.
Tom, we're putting a team in of one. You.
You'll still win. It's tens. Don't get me wrong, it's tens, but you'll still win.
Tom, my team's playing, so you can always guest.
Yeah,
Tom does that, but he's a bit of a James Haskell when he goes and guests plays. Cash money.
But the thing is that he might have to lose a bit of beef on his arms because he probably won't get any.
Yeah, you're far too toned to actually play for Pete's team. I'm afraid.
No, that's why.
Unless he's,
my picture's cut off just here. You can't see below this. Been a long COVID lockdown.
Tom, I'm not gonna lie. You look like you're in a bath or something. Where are you?
I'm just sat against the wall in my little dining area at the moment.
Oh, okay.
It's where I've been working. I've got an apartment that I work here, and then I go back home later on.
Oh, right. Okay, so you're in a fair flat.
I mean, it's my man cave. It's what I keep away from the family. My affair flat, for fuck's sake. Oh my god.
Well, it's all coming out tonight. There's another hashtag. You heard it here first.
I do not need that right now. That's not going to help.
I'm done. I'm fucking done now.
Oh, Jesus.
Welcome to the world of Pete Stenterford, I'm afraid.
Oh.
This is what you get. You thought that James Haskell was bad. Welcome, Pete.
The affair flat. That's bloody brilliant. Thanks for that.
Right, now listen, we must move on.
Yeah, we must move on. Fuck off.
I'm gonna go. Right?
Fair Pete. Bye, mate.
Take care.
Get on with it, Mike.
Take care, mate.
Now, we've got to move on because Tom doesn't have a lot of time tonight. So we're going to do a this or that quiz with you now, Tom. Now, this or that is very, very simple. It's I also want you to do is tell me out of the 2 answers I give you, the first one that comes to mind. No thinking time. It's got to be instinctive. So, for example, if I said black or white, you would say
black.
And if I said red or blue, you would say
red.
There you go. You see,
okay,
you get the hang of this, don't you? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. And if I said rain or sun, you'd say
sun.
There we go. It's proper sevens player. Right. Sam, do we have 90 seconds on the clock?
We do.
Tom Varndell, this or that? We need a jingle here. We need a jingle. Thanks, Sam. Sauna or ice bath?
Sauna.
Fish or chips?
Chips.
Ketchup or brown sauce?
Ketchup.
Netflix or Amazon?
Netflix.
TikTok or Tinder?
Tinder.
Cardio or weights?
Weights.
Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox.
Golf or gym?
Gym.
Flip-flops or sliders?
Flip-flops.
Oxfords or brogues?
Brogues.
Blondes or brunettes?
Blondes.
Boobs or bum?
Boobs.
Pancakes or waffle?
Pancakes.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Ale or lager?
Lager.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Quins or wasps?
Wasps.
Good lad. 7s or 15s?
15s.
Mike Friday or Mike Tyndall?
Mike Friday.
I've got 2 pages now. I should be ready for this. Pass the ball or run with it?
Run.
And the last question tonight, bacon sandwich or sausage sandwich?
Bacon sandwich. Every day.
Hey! Nice one. You're actually the only person ever to get through those in time.
You had 17 seconds spare. Jesus, Mike.
Whoa,
Damn.
man, that was good. Now comes the tricky bit because we're going to go through your answers.
Okay.
It's like being back at school and doing your GCSE mock all over again, isn't it? Sauna or ice bath, we've all got to go with you. Nobody likes an ice bath apart from Trevor Leota. And he just lies down in the freezer in Poland. There you go. Fish or chips? Tips?
Yeah.
Hey, carbs?
Good man.
There is a valid reason for that. I watched a documentary the other day on the ocean, and the fish, they're all fucked at the moment. They're full of plastic. I don't want to eat that shit. So there we go. Chips.
You know the potatoes eat plastic as well, don't you?
Oh, do they?
Yeah. I watched it was on the other side at the same time.
Yeah.
Ketchup, mate, I'm losing this ketchup and brown sauce battle.
Damn right you are.
Yeah.
What's that? 3-0 now. Okay, Netflix or Amazon? All right. Do you have Amazon as well?
I've got both, but
I thought you
I
might
think I'm
have
going
some
for
Amazon.
Netflix at the moment. Yeah.
TikTok or Tinder? You're the only person who's probably answered honestly and said Tinder.
Don't even use TikTok. Who needs TikTok when you got Tinder? Surely.
I don't have either of them.
Julie likes TikTok because you don't have all the hassle that you get with Tinder, but you still get to look at women taking their clothes off.
Exactly. And shaking their ass around.
And
You
shaking
can
their
get through more. You can get through more than Tinder. It's just a swipe. There's none of this waiting and watching videos. It's just swipe, swipe, swipe. Job done.
Do not send me any more TikTok videos to put up on the show, because that's what I had the YouTube copyright battle with last
We'll
week.
just send you a load of Tinder swipes in Sweden anyway.
Yeah, do that. As long as there's no copyrighted music. Xbox or PlayStation? I don't know. I don't play on any of them, but you like the Xbox?
Yeah, my son plays the Xbox, so I've got the Xbox.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
What's your favourite game?
My favourite game, Assassin's Creed.
And do you play online with the other rugby boys?
No.
So Are you sure?
No, there's no point. I just get killed straight away. So, when my son started beating me at computer games, it was time to call it a day on that.
I'm with you there, which is why I've not used a computer game in 12 years.
Yeah.
Oh, nailed down, Brad, you are.
What was
See,
that
most
Sinclair X5 you had or something like that, was it? Or,
Commodore VIC-20, mate. And the Spectrum ZX81. I do remember those. And you've gone for gym and not golf.
Blue rubber keys.
Rubber keys. Yeah, well, we can tell, can't we, mate? We can tell.
Yeah, went for the gym. Summer's
Looking
coming.
buff there.
Summer's coming.
Oh, right, okay. You're just getting ready for your bikini body, are you?
Well, I'm going to be single after this podcast, so I need to get in good shape.
You're not, because no fucker watches it anyway.
Oh, don't worry. My missus finds everything, trust me. He finds everything.
I did tell you beforehand that this was the worst rugby show and rugby podcast in the world. And believe it or not, Tom said it isn't, because he knows some that are really bad. So, flip-flops or sliders? Glad you went for flip-flops, but mate, Julian, have a word.
Brogues, really?
I'm sorry. I don't care.
You almost sound like a Swiss referee when you talk like that.
I'm sorry. I've let myself down there. Sorry.
I'm sorry, but I'm a domination.
Disgraceful choice.
I thought you were a gentleman, Tom. I thought you were a well-dressed, dapper gentleman.
You are.
He's just flashy.
Definitely not. Far from
Well,
a
if you're not a
gentleman.
gentleman, we'll let you have bros, and if you want to be, you can change your answer.
Thank you.
Blondes rather than brunettes. Brunettes are not doing well in this survey, are they? We've not had a brunette choice yet. Boobs or bum? I think most guys have gone for boobs. I wonder what Anita will go for. Shall I change this for next week?
Oh no, you've got to go for the bum. Bum's the best, yeah. More than mouth.
Oh, there you go.
For a net, you can always
I
ask
mean,
Bum.
to be fair, I'll take both. But if you have to have a choice,
I'm with you there, Tom. My wife's got great ones of each, so I'm happy there. That works for me. Pancakes, not waffles.
yeah, pancakes.
Any reason?
They're just better. They're just
Okay.
a lot better than waffles.
I'm not talking like bird's eye potato waffles when we were growing up, mate.
No, you're talking about.
funny jingle on telly.
I like a good pancake. I like a good pancake. You can put
Well,
lots of
there you
stuff
go,
in a
you heard it
pancake,
here
you can
first.
roll it up. Yeah, it's good. Pancake.
Coke, not Pepsi.
Yeah, Coke. Pepsi's nah. Not a Pepsi man.
That's one more against Phil.
It is one more against Phil. Phil doesn't like Coke at the moment because they've gone a little bit woke, so he shouts a lot at them. But lager, I suppose you're back though, aren't you? So
Yeah.
you're bound to be a bit of a lager boy, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely not.
Fucking back.
Definitely not ale. It's all about the lager.
Jules, did you
I'm
say
an ale
I'm a
drinker and I
back?
was a fucking back. Yeah,
Yeah, but you're built like a fucking forward.
I played fucking inside. Okay, I played inside centre. But
Which is effectively just a forward anyway.
I know.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to feature Julian on the screen now, and you can tell us whether you think he's a back or a forward. And the votes are in, and the two people who are watching this both said you look like a forward.
I'm too pretty to be a forward.
No, no.
No,
Bit of a
put
loose
that
head.
in the survey.
Tea or coffee? You went with tea.
Shrek.
I mean, I
Do you
like
not-
coffee. I like a coffee,
Hey.
but tea to start my day, definitely tea.
Fair enough. You're not one of these
English
guys
tea.
who's going to become a world class barista in their
No,
post-rugby
tell you
days.
what, every frigging rugby player at the moment is becoming a barista. I'm like, what's going on?
Well, you
How
can't
much
get any
coffee
other
do you
word.
need in the world?
I know. It's like you've either got to open a bar, a brewery, or a coffee shop. What's going on?
Just don't get it. I just don't get it. Just go to Starbucks. You don't need to open fancy coffee shops. It's just like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Now I went Quins or Wasps. You went Wasps. Good
Mhm.
lad. But they said Tigers or Wasps. Where would you have gone?
Wasps, I think. Yeah, Wasps.
Good lad.
I had my most fun at Wasps. We didn't win as much, but I had my most fun.
What years were you at Wasps?
2010 to 2017.
Yeah, you see, you were about 10 years too late, weren't you?
Yeah. Basically, when I left, they moved to Coventry and then they won everything. Well, no, they didn't win everything. They've still not won it, have they? But
No.
they had that
You
really
should have
good
come
purple
over
pack.
erio. Should have come over
Yeah.
early, mate. When
No,
that
I
lovely
shouldn't.
Warren
Because I was
Gatland.
at Leicester and we beat them, so it's fine.
No, that's funny because didn't Dawson move to Wasps so that he could win something?
But yeah, but Dawson was at Northampton, so
And then you got, who was the other one? Vickery came over because he couldn't win anything at Gloucester. They just had this knack, didn't they, of getting guys who were nobody else wanted and turning them back into world-class players.
Yeah, and it was that period, I think, it was 10 years. It was literally Wasps and Leicester just dominating. You got basically Martin Johnson versus Delalio. It was an unbelievable battle. It was a good time for rugby.
Did you
and that's
play
why
in
when I
that
left
final
Leicester,
at Twickenham?
Sorry?
Did you play in that final at Twickenham? Was it 2004, the last one
We
before
were going
Johnson
for the
retired?
So Leicester, we were going for the treble. We'd won.
That's
we'd
right.
won. It was the European Cup, wasn't it? So
Yes.
we beat them in the Premiership. We played them in the LV Cup. Beat them in both, and we were like, we're going to absolutely smash these boys. We played them in the last game of the season, 2 weeks before, and we put like 50 points on them. I scored a hat trick, by the way, and.
I just had to say that, didn't you? Yeah.
And
It's
so-
not on your show reel, mate.
No. They took that out, the bastards. I think Lawrence Dallaglio was making that show. But anyway, we were absolutely flying that season, and we thought it was foregone conclusion. We dominated them all year, and they went and beat us. They went and
We
beat
did.
us. Couldn't believe it. I remember being in the change rooms before, and back then you could hear the change rooms you hear the Wasps change room. And we were sitting there all quiet, just listening to music, quite chilled, and you could hear Lawrence giving his team talk, and we were like, fucking hell, here we go. They come
He
to
got
play
shit
today.
from his mum that day, you know.
Oh, mate.
Because of course, it was Johnson's last ever game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Titans. So
Yeah.
the newspapers were all about Johnson, the radio, and Eileen rang Lawrence that morning and went, "Have you seen this bloody newspaper? Are you going to stand for that?" And that's what fired him up.
Yeah, and that's what you can hear in the change room. They're like, "We're gonna fuck up Jono's last game. We're gonna go out there." They're laughing at us, and we're just there going, "Oh my god!" And you know what Lawrence is like? It's a larger than life character. And I think I must be at 22 years old, just thinking, "Shit the bed. This is not going to be as easy as we thought." And straight away, and they broke my nose in that game as well. The bastards, absolute.
Who did that? I'll have words.
Yeah, who was the fly after? Jeremy Staunton. Remember going down on the ball?
Alex King back then.
Oh, Storms must have come on because he definitely broke my fucking nose because he was laughing at me when my eyes were bleeding. Remember going down the ball and this foot just comes screaming through. My nose just went, poof, and I was like, "Get me off."
That was the game that Neil Back punched Worsley from behind, wasn't it? After Worsley stole the line out. And as he ran past Worsley, he just swung a punch. Worsley had to have 9 stitches on the inside of his mouth.
Mate, it was a brutal game. It was
hard.
Proper battle.
Yeah,
Proper
definitely.
battle.
Listen, we're going to finish the last few here because I know you've got to go in a minute. 15s, not 7s? Man, come alive.
I know. I mean, I love the 7s. I love the sunshine. But, mate, there's nothing better than, like, running out of Twickenham with a full house.
Fair dues, mate.
And playing in them big games. I mean, 7s is brilliant. So it's an unbelievable atmosphere. But I think 15s on a week-to-week basis is just another level if you get to experience it.
So there's a question then. Just how much did Samurai pay you to come on at Ealing with Mike Friday to try and beat the Jesters in the last series?
I wish they had paid me because I was absolutely hanging afterwards, mate. But
I know. I could keep up with me and Daryl kept up with you, so we know you were getting old.
Mate, I was hanging at the end. My feet were on fire. Bloody Ealing pitch is what I hate them 4Gs.
It was fucking hot, wasn't it? It was about 56 degrees, the pitch temperature. It was baking hot.
Yeah,
Mike Friday, not Mike Tyndall.
Oh, geezer, Mike Friday. I'm like brilliant.
He is a proper geezer.
He's a proper geezer, and he's for me. He's given me some of my best memories in terms of like the 7 scene and
damn right.
Being a mentor as well when I was sort of a younger lad. No, he's awesome.
He is great, and we all remember him coming on our show and getting me pissed. So everybody else loves him. And of course, I had to ask, pass the ball or run with it because I've never seen you pass it. And all the time that you played it.
What did you expect him to answer?
Always run with it.
And of course, you've got to finish on the best one. You're a bacon sandwich man. We'd love to keep talking to you, mate, but I know you've got to go. But do come back again with you in a few weeks' time and we'll have a proper
definitely.
chat.
Definitely,
all right, then, guys. You take care.
Cheers,
we're going to take a break. We're going to say goodnight to Tom for now. And we'll see him again very, very soon. Take care, mate. And thanks for joining us tonight. Cheers, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So welcome back to part 3 tonight of the 22 Dropouts. Don't forget to check out our social media pages. They're up there. Just search at 22 Dropouts. It was great having Tom Varndell on tonight. And there's a few revelations there, albeit very, very quick ones. We'll talk a little bit more rugby. Daryl, you've had quite a busy week and a busy night already.
I can't. I just need to get over that comment. Is that your affair flat? We need to go back.
Oh mate, that's and only Pete could ever come up with something like that. But yeah, thanks, Pete. I'm sure Tom thanks you for that as well.
It's been quite busy, as I was saying. I've got a weekend off this weekend, which I think is my first weekend off since Christmas. So that's quite nice. I appreciate there are a lot of people who haven't been involved in the game now or done anything. So it's quite nice to be in that privileged position to be involved.
Yeah, and yeah, we were talking in the break about that skill fade as well, and that you've got guys who haven't done anything for 14 months. Whether they get to do anything in this intervening period because we've got some strange cups and things like that. And one of the things I've heard is there may not be any ARs in that as well. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. But we could be faced with a situation that come September, people, especially some of the ARs on the panel, are going to go in their first game having done no ARing for 18 months. No refresher games or anything like that, and that's going to be tough for quite a lot of people.
Yeah, I think I think across the whole game, you're going to have match officials and referees who've not done anything. You're going to be out refereeing games, so there's got to be a potential safety issue at the beginning of the start of the season. But hey, we'll see what we get back to in September. And everybody's asking how long is it going to be before we get back to normal rugby at the community level. How long's a piece of string, yeah, at the moment?
Yeah. We've got to do what we can do with the resources we've got and the parameters we give. And we've got to make the most of it rather than whining about it. We have to make the most of it. I did an intra-club touch tournament for several hours on Saturday. It's not what they wanted, of course it isn't, but it was great to get all the club members down from the from the women all the way up to the first 15, vets, Colts, everybody else, all getting involved, all joining in a great game of touch, and the weather was great as well, and it just keeps that family bond together within a rugby club. And if that's all you can do, I think that's what you've got to do. And we're not far away, touch wood, from the adapted game. That's later this week, I believe. In fact, it might even be today that we can start doing the adaptive game, and then we look forward to going back into a full game, hopefully sometime in June.
Yeah, that's going to be busy few months if we can squeeze in a lot of rugby because people are desperate to play.
I found that with a lot of the sevens tournaments as well, that they get, whereas people, there's always those sevens teams that just go for as many things as they possibly can over the summer, and then they struggle sometimes, the competitions, to fill those last few places. They're all oversubscribed already, which is great to see, but it just shows how clubs, teams, players, all of them just want to get in to do some sort of rugby as soon as they possibly can.
Yeah, no, it'd be good for us. But yeah, no, it's. I think there's going to be the sevens circuit this summer is going to be great fun because they never freaking get into mauls anyway, so we ain't got to worry about that. And with a quick, if referees let them go quickly from a free kick restart, wow, we know we know that in 15-a-side on the adapted laws, ball in play time is up by sort of 20%. So can you imagine? In sevens, if you get a faster ball in play time, bloody hell, I'll be knackered.
Yeah, I mean, are they going to do adapted laws in sevens? So no scrum. Obviously, it's easy with balls. You just call a tackle early. But like you say, you very, very, very rarely get them in sevens anyway, because most players don't want to go into form the ball, even if that guy's being held up. They'd rather he worked harder, put off balance, and then go to ground. Do you reckon that we're going to stick with, even though it's only 3-man scrums, do you think we're going to stick with no scrums in sevens?
I think so, yeah. No scrums in sevens, and then you're just going to call advantage over wrap even quicker than you call it now, yeah?
Oh, hell yeah. And to be fair, if you're the... There's no benefit now, is there? So if you're the offending team, so if your team knocks on and you would normally go and dive on the ball just because it would slow the game down, they can't break the advantage line, on a turnover. Well, it's either a turnover or a free kick. You might as well let them just have the turnover and set back as quickly as you can. There's no advantage to trying to regather the ball, is there?
14 minutes of sprinting.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to sevens as much as I thought now. I was, but I think I'm changing my mind. What about you, Jules? You looking forward to sevens?
I am, but not in the UK because we're not adapting anything over here. It's going to be same as always. Scrubs
Yeah.
a lot.
And what's the rationale behind that? And what
They're
you
not
know?
gonna, yeah, they're not going to start until they're ready. That's the
Okay.
main.
So when do they think they're going to be ready?
5th of June start date.
Right. Okay. So even then, we could still be no scrums, no mauls, and you guys could be full on.
Correct. That was
Uh,
hopefully all happen. If we do start the 5th of June, I'll be surprised, but we still have to prepare for it. So the clubs are training now. There's still no contact in training, but we're starting to prepare for sevens now. Like tonight with the ladies, a lot of the drills we were running, a lot of the stuff we were doing was aimed at getting them prepared to play sevens rugby.
How can you prepare for sevens when it's snowing?
It was only snowing a little bit. It was just wet and cold. So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't heavy snow.
See, we've had beautiful blue skies for like 3 or 4 days, warm temperatures, great sunshine.
Floodlit AstroTurf pitch, not a problem.
With snow.
Full rugby field, a little bit of snow coming down at the start, but it stopped after that. It was just cold. And girls had a bit of a whinge about the weather at the start, and then they got on with it and worked their asses off and did really well. I had a really good session with them. So I'm proud of them today.
And what about Malta, San? How's things going over there? Are we any closer to start date?
Yeah, things are actually drastically improving over here. I mean, we're down to about 20, 30, 15 cases a day now. They've started to lift. Actually, today was non-essential shops all opened. So that's a good, good step forward. On the 10th of May, restaurants open. And in regards to sport, contact sport, only professional contact sport can take place, i.e. the national team. So they're training together in a bubble right now anyway. But obviously it's non-contact. But as of the 10th of May, they can actually do contact training, but only the national team players. They're not allowed to train with their clubs and stuff anyway, because that's something that the union put in place so that we protect obviously the players and the families and stuff. But yeah, it looks like things are starting to improve, and hopefully we'll get back to some sort of the normality being the start of the season in October. That's what we're heading for, but it all depends on how everybody reacts when the borders open for tourism coming in at the beginning of June.
Yeah, for when we all come over there with our coughs and colds and infect you all again.
No, it shouldn't be, because they've announced here that anybody boarding a plane coming to Malta, they've got to provide either fully vaccinated or a certificate to show like that. So or that you're shown negative. So everything should be okay. But
Mate, do you know how many of them are available on the black market for you just to write in yourself?
This is the real McCoy, mate. So I'm coming over. I'll get my passport. I'll be there.
And you do know that you can still catch it and pass it on, though, Daryl.
Yeah, I do know that. Yeah, but
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? So I mean, we're going to be reaching, looks like, herd immunity before the end of May. They're now vaccinating the 40-year-olds, so they've went all the way down to 40-year-olds now. We've done about 310,000 people, but 100,000 of them are with second jab. So they're getting there. They're doing well. They've opened up the program a lot more and a lot bigger, wide scale. So the doctors and private clinics and that giving the jabs and that. So yeah, I mean, they realised that there was mistakes made and they've fixed it. So
fair enough.
Yeah,
that's all you can ask, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So you talk about the national squad training. Have the national squad got fixtures coming up?
Yeah, mate, they have. Yeah. We've got the women's national sevens conference tournament, I believe, in June, and I think, or May or June, and the guys is in the month after, or vice versa. I can't remember exactly. But the destination of that is set. I can't remember where. Somewhere in Europe, obviously. But that could be changed depending on where what happens with COVID. Jules might not actually know more on that.
I haven't heard
Hello,
anything.
Mel.
She can't hear you because I've got my headphones in.
Oh yeah.
I haven't heard anything yet on the Rugby Europe side. Where I know some of the refs have started getting appointed fixtures, but they haven't got round to assigning us old farts ref managers and performance reviewers.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting to see, to be honest, and see if we can wait for the announcements.
So what's
Yeah.
happening with your involvement, your country's involvement in the Olympics? Do you have a seventh team going? Either of you?
Not going. We didn't qualify.
Oh, okay.
No,
I wasn't sure. That's why I asked. I take
No,
it
no.
Malta didn't qualify then.
No.
What Malta has though is in 2023 we've got the Small Island Games, which is sevens rugby will be included in for the first time in 2023. So that's
Is that
it's
taking place in Malta?
It is, yeah, which is going to be the first time. So that's going to be a massive thing for us here as a country, because obviously, you know,
Say hello to Mel.
Say hi, Mel.
Yeah.
There you go. That was quick. So yeah, it's obviously, you know, a showcase for our rugby and, you know, our island. So we want to do our best and you know, just do what we've got to do, and you know, got a good show on.
So how's that going to affect? Are you planning to use one of the bigger, you know, the football stadiums for that? How is that going to improve with a legacy the game of rugby in Malta?
Well, as it currently stands, there's a lot of agreements being made and such things. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it because I'm not involved in it, but obviously, you know, I hear things. So what I can say is that there is agreements being made for Malta Rugby to have their own stadium and their own pitch, plus the 2 pitches, and I believe there's going to be a third pitch. So that'll give us plenty of training places and plenty, you know, obviously, you know, the more grounds and obviously with all the facilities, i.e. changing rooms for the, you know, the refs and the players and showers and a bar and, you know, the most important thing, a bar.
That'd make a nice change instead of just a couple of shipping containers.
Well, yeah, basically, because that's what you end up getting changed at the moment, is in a container, you know. So, but the more facilities and the better the facilities, that means you can get on circuits. You can, you know, you want national teams, you want clubs and all that coming over. We host tournaments as it is. You know, the bigger the venue, the more you can do, the better the, you know, facilities. Then you get yourself, you know, on those circuits, and lo and behold, you actually get yourself on the map, don't you? So everybody come to Malta, all the referees, all the teams, yay!
Mate, we're already there. You know, we're already there.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's all right. Your name will be getting put down. Jules as well. Darryl, you're more than welcome, mate. Come down. Ref a few games.
We'll be there for the Small Island games, won't we? Well, in fact, just tell them that our team will manage all the referees for them.
Can't do it, mate. Can't do it. That's going to be run by Rugby Europe, mate.
But we're better than Rugby
I'll
Europe.
do
You
it.
know that.
Yeah, Jules and me
do
have got it sorted already. Don't worry.
There we go. Me and you, chap. Rugby Europe. We're on the plan. We can do it.
That's it, mate. Yeah.
When are the dates?
Between now and then, we might actually get over to Sweden to do some games for you guys, because we might be able to travel.
Sorry, what did Darryl say?
When are the dates?
Hopefully.
Darryl's put it in his diary already. Look at this.
I'll tell you, mate, if I don't put it in my calendar, it won't be happening, yeah?
2023, that's all I know is that I'm guessing it's going to be sort of late spring, early summer.
I need a week in Malta.
I think we all do.
Welcome, mate. More than welcome.
And of course, we're before then we'll have a week in Vegas as well.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Hey, listen, it's only a couple of years till the 200th anniversary of rugby. Imagine Phil's.
It's only a couple of years.
And imagine what the Americans want to do for a big anniversary in Vegas.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Mike. I don't think anybody knows what you're talking about.
I have to be cryptic at the moment. Not that other people have been, because they let the cat out of the bag way too early that the All Blacks are going in October this year, next year, and for another 3 years after that as well. Which will be great, because then we can build this other tournament alongside it. But yeah, look, how many times have we said this now over the last sort of 13 months? We're there. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and all those other metaphors that hopefully now we're actually getting somewhere, and that over in Malta, over in Sweden, even here with the community game, we're starting to see some playing again, some training again. The officials are starting to get a run out too. Fingers crossed that's the way it stays, and we keep going on that upward trajectory, as long as we don't get hit by all the problems that they're having in India at the moment. And our thoughts go out to all our friends and colleagues and the match officials and the rugby family over there, because they're really having a tough time. I spoke to a couple of friends yesterday, and they literally have locked themselves in their apartment and they won't go out, not even to get food. Anyway, we have come to the end of tonight's show, because we're not going to waffle on for 25 minutes in part 3 like we normally do. But next week we will be back. We will be back with hopefully some more guests from the match officiating world, if they haven't got to go to hospital to have another jab. But we'll see you then. In the meantime, you take care.
Before we go, we should say congratulations to England winning the Six Nations, mate.
Yeah.
There you go, Julian. You just did. Well done. Well done to England for winning the Six Nations. I don't know whether you saw the interview with Emily Scarrett with the trophy the other day. And she said the trophy was in a lot worse condition while it was sat beside her than it was when it was presented. Let's put it that way. Thoroughly well deserved. I think we've talked about this long and hard. There has to be a little bit of extra work from some of the other home nations in order to try and level up the competition. There you go. And on that bombshell, it is time to leave. We'll see you all next week. Take care. Good night.